All right, what's going on? So today, you might be wondering why I'm doing a video, and I just recently got asked a bunch of questions about compression and compression settings and how to use compression effectively for things like U2 songs and for U2 sounds. So today, I figured that that's what this video would mainly be about, and I'll also do some stuff in regards to like other U2 sounds and not just compression, but that should be the focus of this video is compression settings. So I'm just going to tell you, I just recently got this Dyna Comp a couple days ago. I found it online. It was only $45 US. I don't know how much that would be for you and for anyone in other countries, but it was a pretty good deal to me, $45. The guy said, who was selling it, he said, it was beat up a little bit and it had some scratches, but otherwise it worked really well and it worked just fine. And so I figured I'd make a splash. I've been using a Dyna Comp in Amplitude, creating settings and getting really good sounds from the Dyna Comp in Amplitude. So I figured let's get a real one. And so the real one sounds great to my ears. And it's just kind of blown my mind the little bit of time that I've spent with it. It's a really great pedal, very effective for early 80s U2 songs like Where the Streets Have No Name or Pride. Songs like that, it's perfect. And Pride is actually what I'm going to start out doing with a little demo playing. But those are the settings that I am using right off the bat right now. And I find that these settings are really well for like Pride in the Name of Love. So the key to me, and I don't really ever know what I'm really doing when I'm setting compression settings. I'm just twisting knobs until I get something that sounds about right. And I think that that's what anyone should really do with compression. It's not really something that I think that oh, hey, this one setting sounds really good. I just twist the knobs until it sounds like, oh, hey, it's compressing just right and it's tightening up my tone really well. But I like to keep the sensitivity relatively high with this Dyna Comp. I find that it works the best, depending on the song, of course, but with the sensitivity up high. So those are the settings. And so I figured we'll just start off with like Pride in the Name of Love. I'm using 2 delays here, but they're both basically the same time. One is just slightly off from the other. In fact, you'll hear it. It just creates that slight, like almost a doubling effect, but they're just slightly off from each other. But here's Pride. I'm using a Stratocaster into, the whammy's not on, but my chain goes Strat, whammy pedal, into the Dyna Comp, into the M13, into the Vox AC30. So here we go. So I just used the middle pickup on the Strat on this one. I may be changing pickup selections throughout, but I'm going to put it in the second position, which is I believe bridge and middle, or is it neck? It's bridge middle is what I'm going to use. Now I'm going to play the same main riff from Pride, that little, but with the second position on the Strat, which is bridge and middle. So that was the second position on the Strat, and I think that sounds much more accurate than the middle position, but I figured I'd start off with the middle. The Dyna Comp was on for that, by the way. So here's without the Dyna Comp on. Oops. You can see how like I have this really harsh tone without the Dyna Comp, and it sounds really kind of mushy. Well, the Dyna Comp kind of compresses that delay so it's not overriding what you're playing, sort of, and it helps to even out my tone. So back to the Dyna Comp. So I think the Dyna Comp sounds amazing for Pride in the Name of Love. I'm just kind of going to go through settings. I'm not really going to show any settings. I may talk a little bit about some settings, but I'm just going to flip through various settings that I've created on my M13 here. And the Herdem pick is very important as well to get that chime. That chime is very important for a song like Pride, for any U2 song really, but it sounds amazing for Pride. I'm kind of blown away by how good it sounds. But also the AC30 has a lot to do with the tone as well, the sound as well. By the way, I'm plugged into the top boost channel on my AC30. I'm plugged into the low channel instead of the high. So low top boost on my AC30, in case you are wondering. And I'm miking this with an SM58. My 57 broke on me a few years back, and I tried to get it fixed and resoldered, but it crapped down on me and it doesn't work anymore. So I'm using a 58 with a pop filter windscreen thing on it. So that's what I'm using to mic this into my Presonus interface, by the way. Same thing that I used for my ambient sounds video. So you can check that out if you want more on how I record some of my guitar sounds. So this time I'm going to go to I guess I'll just go to Ultraviolet, because I got a lot of questions about Ultraviolet and that tightness to the Ultraviolet sound, and a lot of that is the compression settings that I'm using. So same compression settings from Pride, and I may tweak the compression for Ultraviolet, but same ones from Pride using the Ultraviolet settings I've created here. I may even need to turn up the output a bit here. And to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the tone right now. I have heard that the Dyna Comp doesn't really work very well with drive. If you put a drive after it, it doesn't really sound really good. It's more of like a clean type boost. It works really well, but I haven't really experimented with drive after it or before the Dyna Comp. So this is drive after the Dyna Comp, in case you're wondering. And the drive from the M13 is a screamer pedal. So I'm going to turn the screamer off, and this is Ultraviolet without the screamer. the Zoo TV riff. So I think that that sounds better without any drive for the most part, but it does help to get that sort of that thick tone. I did turn up the sensitivity knob a bit for that, and the same can be said for Where the Streets Have No Name. Hold on, my cat's over here. But this is for Streets, and I'm using the bridge middle position for Streets. So there's Streets with the Dyna Comp. I figured the Dyna Comp is really important for that Where the Streets Have No Name sound. I know that for Streets he used like a, I think it was the TC2290. I'm pretty sure it's the Streets delay unit. It's either that or the Korg STD 3000. Either one of those. I think it's the TC. The TC I think is the Streets delay, and the Streets delay has a ducking effect built into it. The delay has like a natural ducking effect, and or the unit has it built into it, that this compression kind of does the same thing. And what that does is it, like I was saying, it doesn't, it allows your playing not to be overwhelmed by the delay unit. So it's a very vital kind of thing to have for a song like Streets, where you're playing very rhythmically with a delay, but you don't want to be overwhelmed by the delay, but you still need it there for the sort of the ambience of the sound. Let's see, what else can I do? I could do, I'm gonna go back to my Pride setting, but I've got a delay on here that's good for wire. Now I'm just gonna play a little bit of the wire riff, but it's so fast and I'm not really very good at it. But this is a delay that I created for wire. It's got a bit of modulation, very Unforgettable Fire-esque. So there's the sound. So that's wire with the Dyna Comp. I'm not the best player for that. I'm not the best guy to play that song. It's just, and I don't think the delay time is right for it either there. It's tapped in as a dotted eighth note delay. Really fast though. And I'm just not the guy for for that song, but that's the sound that I created for that. Mysterious Ways with the Dyna Comp. This is not my Mysterious Ways preset, by the way. This is U2 John 316 on YouTube. This is his preset, but I've tweaked it slightly. I've tweaked the slow filter, and I added a pitch glide to emulate a 12 string. But this is Mysterious Ways. So, yeah, Mysterious Ways is something that you'd be better off playing with a Korg A3. How about, here's another Korg A3 sound. This is Numb, and this is a setting preset that I made. We're going to play this with the Dyna Comp and then without the Dyna Comp. I think it goes to E there, actually. Hold on. Either way, that's the Dyna Comp with, that's Numb with the Dyna Comp. This is Numb without the Dyna Comp. So yeah, that's a preset that I made for Numb myself. You'd be better off probably if you played it with a Korg A3. That unit is going to give you the exact sound that you need for the song. But what I used for Numb, and this is going to be a long video, so just stay with me on this one. But my chain is going from right to left. So in the right side of the M13, under the FX Unit 4, I have a facial fuzz. And I may give you guys the settings if you request this enough. But a facial fuzz into a Q filter. Hold on. Yep, yeah, that's a Q filter. Into an analog flanger, into an analog chorus, I think. No, sorry, a dual phaser, not a chorus. It would be facial fuzz, Q filter, then flanger, then phaser, and then the amp. And you can put a comp at the front of that, but I don't think the comp is necessary. But this is one that I made myself. Sounds pretty close to me. Not quite as good as the A3, but I tried my best with this one. I'm probably going to go back and redo my Numb cover for this one. What was this? Out of Control. So this is a early 80s U2 song. This is from the Boy era. Again, this is with a screamer on, so. This is without the same riff without the Dyna Comp. So that's Out of Control. Here's the solo for Out of Control with the Dyna Comp. I may have to do a different pickup for that one. How about Real Thing? How about not? My whammy needs to be calibrated. Sorry. That's not going to happen. But this is my Real Thing setting. Wait, is that right? The Real Thing intro would use the whammy pedal, but it needs to be calibrated. And I'm just not doing that right now. Here's an ambient setting here's a custom setting that I made for myself. And just on its own, the Dyna Comp sounds pretty good. Let me see. So, for the most part, that's been some of the U2 sounds that I've created on my M13. I can go over some of these more in depth if you would like. And for the most part, just keep the sensitivity up high with compression. It seems to be the big secret. Right now, I've turned down the sensitivity a bit behind midway, so just below 12 o'clock, but I'm going to turn it back up one last time. So this is with the output just a little past 12 o'clock. There's a lot of modulation on that delay. So I guess that's it for this video. Let me know what you think if you want me to do more or do more in depth. But this is the best I could do with the camera and the situation and the setup here. But ask any questions that you feel like you need to ask. You can never ask too many questions. I'm always open to answer. And that's it.